Can you hear me well? Oh, you can hear me well. I was in the pastor office, and they came to put the microphone on me and everything. I told them, in Egypt, it's a very bad idea when you say, I will wire somebody. We have a bad experience with that. How are you this morning? God bless your heart. It's good to be home. It's good to be back. This is my home church here in the South, so I really appreciate my invitation. And Joe, thank you so much for having me. And Susan, thank you for building the bridges between us and the pastor. Today, we'll not be speaking about persecution. I don't want to speak about what the enemy is doing. I want to speak about what God is doing. There is between 200 to 300 million persecuted Christians worldwide. Is the most religious group that's facing persecution on daily basis. Is the worse than any Holocaust that the world had ever known. And yet, we will not be talking about this today. We'll be talking about forgiveness. Now, there is a reason why I want to talk about forgiveness, because the only key to unlock the gates of persecution is through forgiveness and victory in Jesus' name. It's the only enemy, the only weapon that the enemy do not know how to fight us. It's forgiveness. Now, I don't play church, so I will be just honest and I will tell you the truth the way it is. I'm not politically correct. If you saw me last year, you would remember that. So I would just jump in the issue, and if I offended any of you, just, I can't help it. So get over it. That's the bottom line. Now, you have to understand that forgiveness is not a gift. It's not something that you are born with. You have to understand that forgiveness is not a gift. It's not something that you are born with. Forgiveness is a decision, is a declaration. You decide to forgive. Now, nobody born with this gift, nobody born with this decision. It's the opposite. I believe actually we were born with the desire of taking revenge, to respond back in anger. Did you ever saw a child, and if you hit his hand or her hand, he would turn around and hit you back? Did you see that? Did you witness this before? Where did the child learn that? And quite honestly, just let's be honest and truthful to ourselves, revenge is sweet. I don't know if you will act like righteous and everything, but if somebody punched me, I would like to shoot the crap out of them. But revenge will give you a satisfaction, a limited satisfaction, that after that you will regret it to the rest of your lives. And that's why forgiveness is a decision, is a declaration. Now, when I came to the Lord when I was 18 years old, now I'm 39, old and crabby and everything. Well, you see, woman aged like wine. Woman aged like wine. Man aged like milk. We become more sour. I don't know. Are we still there? Okay. So, when I came to the Lord and I was reading the Bible and I saw when he said, if somebody slapped you on your cheek, give him the other cheeks, and all of these beautiful steps about forgiveness. Did you ever read the Bible and you said, Lord, that's cute, that's nice, but you can do that because you're Lord, I can't. So why you don't keep this verse for you? And I would just, you know what I mean? So my first reaction when I read about this in the Bible, I was like, that's cute, but it's not really mine. It's not something that I can understand. A few years later, I was arrested, I was tortured, and I came down to this test to forgive the people that tortured me. And why do I need to forgive them? Now, you need to understand something. I don't preach about something that I don't have and I did not experience personally, or I live it. So if you tell me today, preach about patience, I would tell you, sorry, I can't preach about that. because I have no patience. No, it's true. I have no patience. So I am ADDD. So you understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like when people is still thinking what to do, I'm already there. So I can't preach about patience because I don't live it. You can't give what you don't have. Are you listening? So I only preach about things that I live it, that I experience it, that I know how it's work, and I live it personally. Forgiveness, I came to this test of forgiveness when I was tortured, and every day after that, in my work in Iraq, in Syria, in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, just came back 2 days ago from Ukraine, more than 2 days ago, for Ukraine, the war with the Russians. Going in 2 months from now, going back again to Syria. And every day in my work, I have to forgive over and over and over. So forgiveness is divided to 4 avenues. Forgiveness divided to 4 avenues. Are you with me? Because I will ask you, I will embarrass you, I will, if you are holding your girlfriend's hand, I will embarrass you in front of your girlfriend, man. I just want to say that. So focus with me. I don't care who's sitting down beside you. So there's 4 avenues of forgiveness. Avenue number 1 is to forgive your enemy. Can you say forgive your enemy? Avenue number 2 is to forgive your brother and your sister in the Lord. Go ahead. If you need coffee, I don't mind to go have a coffee and come back, but just wake up with me, William, okay? Number 2 is what? Number 3 is to forgive yourselves. Number 4 is to forgive God himself. Now, some of you will say, but God is perfect. God, how could we forgive? What you saying? Hold your horses. We'll get there when we get there. If you are in Egypt, I would say hold your camels, but you are not in Egypt. So just relax. So 4 avenues of forgiveness. Avenue number 1. Forgive your enemy. The Lord said, bless your enemy. Forgive your enemy. Bless who will curse you. He didn't only say it, he proved it on the cross when he said, forgive them, Father, for they don't know what they are doing. Now, the Lord was wise enough to understand that there is no society, there is no community can survive an eye by eye, tooth by tooth, or the whole society will end blind and toothless, isn't it? But there is 3 benefits from forgiving your enemy, and you have to remember that. Now, I'm not saying that the enemy deserves forgiveness. It's a big difference. I'm not saying that the enemy deserves forgiveness. I'm saying that you deserve to be free. So, there are 3 benefits to forgive your enemy. Benefit number 1, that this is the difference between you and your enemy. So when you look at the mirror, I almost get to a point of shooting a policeman who killed my best friend in Egypt. And I came this far to shoot him. And I didn't pull the trigger because I refused to be him. Forgiveness is the difference between you and your enemy. Benefit number 1. Benefit number 2. When you forgive your enemy today, you are demonstrating the grace of the Lord in action that will ignite in him the question, which God do you worship? Today your enemy, tomorrow your friend, after tomorrow your brother and your sister in the Lord. Do you understand what they are saying? Are you with me? What's wrong with you? Are you sleeping or like what? Benefit number 2 of forgiving your enemy. If you forgive your enemy today, tomorrow your enemy will be your friend. After tomorrow will be your brother and your sister in the Lord. Demonstrating forgiveness in front of your enemy will turn his life around, will change his heart, and will turn them from Saul to Paul. So is all the benefits is for the sake of my enemy? What about me? I am the victim here. Benefit number 3. When you forgive your enemy, you become free from the jail of revenge, from the jail of anger. Now, stay with me here for a little bit. So, in the old Asian history, I'm sorry, I'm ADD, I can't stand up in the same place, forgive me. Okay. In the old Asian history, there was a death penalty. If you killed somebody, did I mess up completely sorry. Hi, John, how are you? What's up, John? Okay. Look at the technology of the day. John with us here in a through screen thingy. I pray that your battery will remain the same, John. Anyway. In the old Asian history, if you killed a human being, your punishment was not death. Your punishment that they will take the dead body and they will hang it in your shoulder forever. That was the punishment. So they wouldn't kill you if you killed somebody. They would just take the dead body that you killed and they will hang it in your shoulder forever. And what's happened, after 3 days, the dead body started to decompose. And after that, the bacteria from the dead body will enter the live one, will kill him slowly. In a matter of week, you will be dead. Slow, painful death. That was the old punishment in the old days. Revenge in your heart will do the same thing. Revenge in your heart is the dead body that you will be carrying on your shoulder. Now, I don't know about you, but I did carry this dead body for 3 years on my shoulder after my torture. I hated officer number 27, the man who tortured me, the man that until now I have nightmares in the night. But I need to tell you, after 3 years, I went to the Lord and I said, Lord, this dead body is not mine anymore, it's yours. I give it to you, Almighty God, and I forgive him. I forgive him. So, some of you today, carrying this dead body. Is John cannot see me? What's happening with John?
I got you.
You got John?
Yeah, I got John.
Give me John.
That's you in the corner there?
Yeah, I know. John, can you see me? Let's do it, John. Can you see me, John? Okay. Some of you, okay, John, listen up. John is scared the shush out of me. And some of you carry this dead shoulder in your body. And I'm telling you today is the time to give it away to the Lord. Doesn't matter what's this dead body, it's time to give it away to the Lord. Are you listening, John? That's good. Leave John here, he can see me. This is forgive your enemy. What is point number 2? What is the avenue number 2 for forgiveness? What is number 1? Number 2? Number 3? Number 4? We're going somewhere. Forgive your brother and your sister in the Lord. Can I ask you the question first? How many of you was hurt by a brother or sister in the Lord? Put your hands up in the church. The ones that put his hand up is honest, and thank you so much. The one who didn't, I don't know if you are shy or just living in a bubble, but anyway. My question to you, if they betrayed your Lord by a kiss, why do you think they will spare you? If the enemy betrayed your Lord by a kiss, why do you think that they will spare you? If the Lord said, love your enemy, bless who will curse you, what do you think he wants you to do with your own brother and sister in the Lord? So the Bible was very clear. The Bible said if you have a problem with your brother and sister in the Lord, you have to go with them, you have to go to them face to face. You have to go with them one-on-one and open your heart, sitting down with them in love, of course. Now, it doesn't matter how small is the problem. You have to go and sit down with them one-on-one and share with them what's your heart. And many times, we get upset from the pastor because he didn't say good morning to us in the morning. What, did you know what's happening with this pastor? Maybe he had a bad night the night before. Sometimes we come and somebody took our parking spot. That's North American problem, by the way. Like this North American problems. You know, somebody took my parking spot. So what? Get over it. Grow up. Like, you kidding me? Like, who cares about your parking spot? So go to your brother or your sister that you get upset from, even if it's something small. 5-minute explanation can finish it. But when you keep something in your heart, over and over and over, you created a seed to the enemy to water it in your heart. And over the month, over the years, it will become more and more and more and more that you will start to hate this person. But immediately when it's happened, if you went to this person and said, listen, man, you did something last Sunday, I just didn't understand why you did it. The person across from me said, I'm sorry, I didn't even think about it. It's over. You killed the seed. So the Bible said you have to go to the person one-on-one and deal with them. Now, if they refuse to sit down with you and talk with you, the Bible said go to the elders of the church and have a meeting and open it up with other people's opinion. So what would happen if none of this worked? The Bible said forgive them in your heart and try again. Forgive them in your heart, try again, but never give up in your own brother and your sister in the Lord. Right. Now, when I came here to North America, when I came here to Canada was 14 years ago. When I came here to Canada, well, I'm not in Canada, aren't I? I'm here in the States now. Sorry, we here all look alike. Anyway, you think brown people look alike? You guys look alike. I came to Canada 14 years ago, and after that, of course, travel. Actually, after I came to Canada by 3 months, I was in Washington, D.C. filming with the 700 Club. So in 3 months, I was able to see Canada and United States in the same, in a very short time after I arrived in North America. My first culture shock wasn't the cars, wasn't how big and high is the buildings, wasn't the food, wasn't anything. Do you know what was my culture shock? Is the division among the church. I couldn't believe it. Actually, there was an old joke. They tell you that 3 different groups of people, they don't recognize 3 different things in their lives. Jewish people, they don't recognize Jesus as Messiah. Catholics, they don't recognize a personal relationship with God. And a Baptist, they don't recognize each other in the liquor store. But I'm just saying. I don't know if this is the dry county or not, but I like my whiskey. I don't care. Sorry. I'm really not, but anyway. The division among the church. Catholics don't talk to the Baptists, Baptists don't talk to the born again doesn't talk to the, I don't know how many denominations you guys have. And here is what we need to understand. As long as you're believing in the same Christ and you're believing in the same Bible, you like it or not, you are my brother and sister in the Lord. Now, I'm not talking about the Mormons and I'm not talking about Jehovah's Witnesses because they are a completely different category. But I am talking about whoever believes in the same Christ and whoever believes in the same Bible. He is your brother and sister in the Lord. If they worship in a different way, that's not your problem. And you are not the judge of that. And they are not the judge of that. But the beauty of Christians is that we complete each other. Our difference is the gain, is the good thing. It's not the conflict. Our different is what complete us. It's not a conflict. It's like a puzzles. Puzzles, what do you call it in English? Puzzles? Yes. Puzzles, that's the right word? If the pieces of puzzles is similar, they will not fit together. But when they are different, they complete each other. Catholics have a different gifts than us. We have a different gift than them. Baptists have a different gift than all of us. I don't know yet what is it, but they have. Sorry. I'm teasing, sorry. We all different, but that's the beauty of the body of Christ. And that's the beauty of completing the biggest picture, the picture of Christ. Amen. This is avenue number 2. So avenue number 1 was what? Oh, come on now, grow up and wake up. Come on now. Number 1 was what? Yes. Number 2? Number 3? Forgive yourself. Very hard task, isn't it? You're the worst enemy for you. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're the worst enemy for yourself. Now, let's paint a picture, will you? Let's paint a picture. Just imagine with me. You're drunk, you're taking drugs, you went to the bar, you had a good night. Well, I don't know what the young people call it. You get lucky. That's what the young people call it right now on social media. You got lucky. Good luck, man, but you didn't. Anyway. You got lucky, now you have AIDS. Thank you very much. You went to the bar, you had good few drinks, you had your drugs, and you sniffed your drugs, and you got lucky in the end of the night, and you woke up in your dirt. And you woke up, and you said, Lord, I just want to go to the church and repent. I want to start all over again. And the enemy came and said, whoa. Hold on a second, party boy or a party girl. You can't go to the church. You can't even hold the Bible anymore. You broke the 10 Commandments. You broke the law. You're a sinner. You cannot be used by God. You're a sinner. You're dirty. You're disgusting. You're a horrible human being. You stole, you took drugs. You can't go back to the church. You're just a disgusting human being, the enemy said. What the enemy forgot to tell you, that Moses was a killer. And yet Moses killed an Egyptian. Maybe he killed my uncle. Maybe I need to forgive Moses. That's a different story. Moses was a killer. But yet God used him to free his people out of the land of Egypt. King David was a killer and adulterer. And God used him to establish his kingdom on earth. St. Paul, before his name was Paul, his name was Saul, he used to kill and torture Christians. Until Acts 9:4. Acts 9:4, I think. Until Acts 9:4, when the Lord appeared to him when he was on his way to Damascus, and he fell down from his horse like a potato chip bag right there. And the Lord asked him the question, why you persecuted me? St. Paul that wrote 13 books in the New Testament. And God used him. So if he will use all of these people, why do you think he will not use you? Even in your dirt, why do you think he will give up on you? He didn't give up on all of these people. Why he would give up on you? The enemy say, whoa, hold on, brown, handsome guy. He was looking at me. I'm sorry, I don't know what's happening. And the enemy said, whoa. What are you talking about? What do you mean he can use them? They broke the law. They broke the 10 Commandments. Can I share with you my opinion about the 10 Commandments? I don't know if some of you will agree with me or disagree with me, but I really don't care. Can I share with you my opinion about the 10 Commandments? Yeah. The law, the main sole purpose of the law, the main sole purpose of the Ten Commandments, the existence of the law, the existence of the Ten Commandments, the main sole purpose was to be broken. To prove to the mankind that you cannot get your own salvation with your own hand and your own good work. The only way of salvation is through the blood of the Lamb on the cross. The law was made to be broken. The law was made to prove that none of us can make it to heaven without Christ in our life. Forgive yourself. And the good news, once you believe in Christ, the 10 commandments is no commandments anymore. It's become 10 promises.
That's right. That's good, yeah.
You believe in Him and you will not steal. You believe in Him and you will not kill. It's become a promise, not commandment anymore. Avenue number 4. So what was number 1?
Forgive your enemies.
Number 2? 3? And number 4? Whoa, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Can I go down? I need to go down. Sorry. I know the camera guy hates me. I apologize. Forgive me, my brother. Forgive me. The camera guy will forgive me, I hope. Forgive God. What do you mean forgive God? God is perfect. Do you want to play church or you want to be honest? Let's talk. You woke up in the morning and you said, Lord, I am so fat. I don't know why I'm fat. I just want to be thinner a little bit. Here they call it, like politically correctness, they don't call you fat anymore. They call you healthy, fluffy. You're fat. Deal with it. Stop eating junky food. That's all of that aesthetic. Exercise, what you want. Lord, I need to lose weight. Why I'm so fat? I want to be thinner. Somebody else wake up somewhere else. Lord, why I'm so thin? I want to be a little bit like, some meat on me. You woke up in the morning and you said, Lord, why I have a straight hair? I want curly hair. Somebody else wake up somewhere. Lord, why I have a curly hair? I want straight hair. Or any hair at all. But anyway, that's... Sorry, my brother.
How about just some hair?
Or any hair at all. Did you know, that's a funny story. When I went to Bangladesh and India and Pakistan, and Afghanistan as well, they have a cream, brown people there have a cream. You put the cream on to make you white, to make your skin whiter. True story. There is a cream in Pakistan and in Afghanistan and in India to buy to make you whiter. So if you have a dark skin, you make you whiter. Did you know that white people go in the sun every summer to become darker? And if they don't sit down in the summer in the sun to become darker, they have this microwave shops that they go there and you microwave yourself for half an hour to become darker. What do they call it? The microwave thingy? What do they call it? Yes, it's a microwave. Nobody happy by what they have, isn't it? Brown, just nice, my brother. Love it. Stay in the middle. I'm good. Did you know there was sorry. Did you know that there was two men fighting with each other? One is black and one is white. And the black man told the white man, Jesus black. The white man told the black man, Jesus was white. Both of them, they fight with each other. Both of them died. They went to heaven. They went to the gate of heaven. They said, now we knock on the gate of heaven. We know if Jesus will open the door, and we know if Jesus was black or white. They went to the gate of heaven. They knocked the door. Jesus opened the door and he said, "¿Cómo estás?" And sometimes even worse questions. Lord, why I cannot pay my bills? Lord, why my loved ones is not believing in you? Lord, why my husband abused me? Why my wife cheats on me? Sometimes it's even the harder. Why my kids do not want to follow you? And sometimes it's harder. Lord, why do I have cancer? Why do I have this disease? Why you cannot heal me? Why did you take my loved ones from me? And without you knowing, you are blaming God. You start to ask these questions, and without you thinking about it, unconsciously you start to blame God for everything went wrong in your life just because you are asking why. I want to share with you a story. So, I work something like 17, 18 hours a day. And I travel at least 8 months out of the year outside of my country, outside of Canada. And mostly frontline areas. So, when I come home, I have to shut down everything. Like I have just to download after 16, 18 hours of dealing with just persecution and horrible things that you cannot even imagine. You just want to relax. So sometimes I go and sit down, watch the TV, and just turn on the TV, the news, or Discovery Channel, or The Simpsons. I love The Simpsons. Are you kidding me? I love The Simpsons. How dare you speak against The Simpsons? They're wonderful, especially Apu, the Indian guy. Do you know what I'm talking about? Apu, the Indian. I love Apu. I adore him to blend the milk about the milk about the. This is my Indian accent, long story short. So sometimes I sit down and I watch Discovery Channel. Discovery Channel is really one of my favorite channels. They have very interesting subjects. They have, natural, and I'm an animal lover as well, so I like to watch that. And one day, the Discovery Channel had an episode about eagles. Eagles. And I believe that eagle is the national bird of the United States. Very few people know that eagle as well is the national bird of Egypt. So it's even in our flag, in the Egyptian flag, you have the yellow eagle. It's an African eagle, it's different. And it was an episode about eagles, and I was like, that's interesting. Let me see it. Let me watch it. I was sitting down and watching it, and they were discovering how Father Eagle will teach his baby eagles how to fly. I think baby eagles have a different name in English. Eaglet? 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 Well, for the next 5 minutes, call baby eagles. When you speak Arabic the same way I speak English, we'll talk together. So anyway. So the father eagle, in this episode, teaching his baby eagle how to fly. So he comes and he takes his son with his own strong arms and with his own wide wings, and he take him so high. And he take him so high and flying higher and higher. And you can see the reaction of the baby eagle is so happy. The baby eagle trusting his father's arms. And you can see the wind going through his little feather, and everything is fine, and he knows that he's flying in his father's arm. There is no problems. Cannot be any problems. There is no possibilities of problems. That was my father promised me. If I hold in his hand and he hold on mine, there will never be a problem. Right. The baby eagle said. And suddenly, when the father reached a certain high, he dropped him. And as the baby eagle falling down, the baby eagle is, okay? The baby eagle is falling down, step by step, and he's crying out to his father. Father, why did you forsake me? What did I do wrong? I hold in your hands. I did everything the way that you told me to do. I followed you. I obeyed you. So explain to me why I'm falling. And he's falling down and he's crying and he's crying. And before he touched the ground by 2 inches, the father eagle came and he caught him. And he flew with him again and he dropped him again. All of this because he wanted his baby eagle to know how to fly. For the little did the baby eagle know what his father was doing, he was developing his strong wings to his child so he can fly on his own to see the stars of his glory and the skies of his mercy.
That's right. That's good, brother. Come on, that's good.
Forgiving God doesn't mean that God is a sinner. Forgiving God does mean that you have to release God from your own unforgiveness. Just release God. He's not your enemy. Don't blame him. Stop blaming him. He's the only one that loves you, wants to help you.
That's right. That's right.
So just hold in his arms, and he will catch you before you hit the ground with 2 inches. I struggle with the same thing sometime in my organization. And sometimes I give up hope. And my father always catch me before I hit the ground by 2 inches. We are all human beings, but we have to trust in our Father. So people of God, in the end of my teaching, this is the 4 avenues of forgiveness. To forgive your enemy, to forgive your brother and your sister in the Lord, to forgive yourself, and to forgive God. In the end, I want to remind you with this important promise. The persecuted Christians is dying, but they still smiling. They are a very deep, dark night, but they still have the candle of hope. Our enemy have very strong army. Our enemy have very strong weapon, but we have the Lord Almighty.
That's right.
So remember this as long as you live. They can kill the believers, but no one can kill the belief of our hearts. They can kill the dreamer, but no one can kill the dream. I thank you and God bless you this morning.